I need something to drink, some water. I'm live. I'm sorry I'm late. The reason is that I've been talking to Daniel Zerbst. Daniel Zerbst. God, disgusting. It's a bit like being in front of the mirror because I don't really believe there's anybody there watching. Is there anybody watching?
No.
Nobody's watching. Do we know if anybody's watching?
Yes.
Where can you see if
On the
anybody's
left
watching?
up side of the page.
Left, this side.
Yeah, up.
Up.
You have like, I think you have a person.
One person.
I don't know if it's you
Yeah.
or if anybody is there. Click on it.
Well,
Click on
click on what?
on this icon.
On this one person here.
No, you cannot see, no?
What does it? What does that do if you click on this one?
I thought that it shows you who is connected, but no.
But they can always see me later if they want when they come home, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, people, I'm terribly sorry that I wasn't on when you clicked at 6, if anybody did. And I'm not looking, I have to look at the camera.
Yeah.
Of course, if I look at myself.
It's like you are.
Oh, fuck. I want the camera to be right in the middle so I can see me and
No,
you.
you cannot do that.
All right, so I'm talking to you. This is like being a presenter on television.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not fun. I'd like to see myself. I haven't looked at myself for probably 30 years. Ever since I was already old then. Because my body had changed and my face had changed. I didn't want to see myself anymore. So I didn't look in the mirror. I don't look in the mirror. Even when I shave, I don't look. I just look at the part that has to be shaved when I used to shave. And as everybody knows, I haven't washed my face since March, but I did wash it yesterday. And I'm not sure if it's made any difference at all. Why is my... I had a bottle of red wine last night. And it's penetrated like varnish, like pain penetrating a table. It's penetrated my bottom lip. So I got to talk to you up there. Oh my God, that is bloody annoying. So if I look down, you know that I'm looking at myself. And if I look at you, so I got to make eye contact with you people. Hello, public. This is Peter here, being ridiculous because he is ridiculous. So what do you want to know? Oh, yes. I'm looking for a person to illustrate the cover of my book. And I managed to find Daniel Zerbst, a friend of mine who's a painter in Cadaqués, and I've been on the phone to him for the last 45 minutes. I like Daniel. I've always loved Daniel. He's so cool. Daniel Zerbst, Zerbst. Try to find him. He has a painting of his, 7 meters long, which they made a digital copy of, and they put it in a canister with lots of other famous artists, and they put it on a spacecraft, and 4 years ago it went off to an asteroid where the spacecraft landed and deposited the canister with other stuff onto the asteroid. So Daniel's work is out in super space. Isn't that interesting? Or not? Yes, it is, I suppose. And anyway, he's a very good artist, and I've got 3 of his paintings. And he's very dystopian. And it's all about man fucking the planet and living in a way that's anti-nature, which is what my book's all about. So he's going to do a cover. And I think he might be the right guy. Meanwhile, I have another friend in Cadaqués called Ramon Moscardo, who, as far as I'm concerned, He's one of the greatest painters with regards to perspective I have ever seen. This man can paint a street on both sides of a corner and it still looks correct when it isn't. He distorts reality to make you see what's there. Very weird. So he's also going to have a go. So I'm playing them off against each other. And they know I'm doing it because I'm transparent. I tell people everything. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do today. I've got nothing new to tell you, except I can see that I need to have my teeth done. Because they've gone, yeah, like that. And I'm looking at myself again. Sorry. Apologize. Won't ever do it ever again. I shall be faithful to you, my audience of one. Oh, God. Am I ever going to get to 14 million? What do you think? I know how I can get to 14 million. I can invite famous people on my program. I'll ring up Brad or Mick and say, oi, I want you to come on my show so that people will watch me. And I said, show like a South African. Hello? No, that's Aussie. Aussies go, hello? I can do an Australian accent with one word. Hello? They have this question mark over everything they do. Hello? Think I'll go to the kitchen? Think I'll have a slice of bread? Just talk like that, hello? And everybody will think you're Australian. South African is, no, man, I just want to say I think it's a really good film, eh? One guy asked another, what did you think of that movie last night? No, it was a really great movie, eh? It was a really great movie too. That's the accent taking the piss out of South Africans that existed about 50 years ago. And they say they don't talk like that anymore. So I've got nothing to report today. Maybe tomorrow I'll have another go. I don't know what I said yesterday because I've got Alzheimer's. Well, I don't have actual Alzheimer's. Well, I don't know if I have actual Alzheimer's. What are you doing?
I'm sharing this video to the people see that you're making this.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they see this in Facebook, they can click and then can see it.
But what's happening now? They can still see me.
They can still see you.
Mark is now
that you want to say to the people.
What?
Quickly message.
Hello, fans. Don't go away. Okay, what now?
Now, post to Facebook. Okay.
Well, do something. Right. Is this it?
Yeah. Now I think you have it.
Are we back?
Yeah. You can follow.
Yeah, but I want to see my face.
Wait a moment. I will check if it's.
Oh God.
If Facebook share it in the properly way.
I begin to understand that life sucks, and that explains why there is no use of FB to speak to the world. What is FB? Oh, come on, man. You were just going to do one thing and you interrupted, and now you got...
Don't get angry with me.
What are you doing?
Don't get angry with me. One moment. I'm checking if it's in Facebook.
Well, check on Facebook on the other computer.
Okay.
And then leave me alone to talk to my fans.
Okay, talk to your fans.
Yes, hello, fans. I completely lost the thread. I think I was commenting on the fact that yes, that's right, Alzheimer's. Because of the Alzheimer's, I don't quite know if I said something yesterday. Oh, what's he going to do now? He's not even a millennial. He was actually born... Were you born this century or the last century?
2000, it's this century or the last century?
You were born in 2000.
Yeah,
That's actually the last century.
the last century?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's another thing. Are you
Okay.
guys all aware that on the 31st of December, 1999, the entire world celebrated the end of the millennium, which is 1,000 years, and the beginning of the new millennium? Except it wasn't true. The new millennium is not finished. Sorry, the old millennium is not finished until the millennium you're in has lasted 1,000 years. 1999, the millennium had lasted 999 years. There was one more year to go. So the new millennium didn't start on the 31st of December 1999. It started on the 31st December 2000. So can you imagine? Just because nobody likes the idea of celebrating a millennium, in 2000, instead of 1999, they decided to just take their notice. Who gives a shit? God doesn't exist. Who gives a shit? Let's believe it anyway. Walt Disney was making Mickey Mouse. He's not real, but who cares? Father Christmas, is he real? No, who cares? Let's not care about anything. Let's just do what we feel like doing. You know, let's be a psychopath if you feel like it. Why don't we just stick babies in gas ovens if we feel like it? You know, this feeling like it that I can't fucking stand. Feeling in isolation of the brain is what thick people do, like the people who voted for Donald Trump. They feel identification with him because they are the same as him. In other words, idiots. That's why they voted for him. Donald Trump is not popular because 71 million people voted for him. It means that there are 71 million people like him. That's the terror. That's what we're all shit scared of. People like that taking over the bloody planet. Well, they are in a way taking over the planet anyway. What are we supposed to do with the human race? I've had 80 years. I found out what's going on. I've written a book which you'll all be getting and reading, and I'll become super famous, and maybe we change the world. Or if the Muslims want it their way, there'll be a fatwa out on me, and the Pope will be sending people to assassinate me. The Pope will probably be going in league with the mullahs and the rabbis and the dictators. They'll all want me dead. The Chinese will want me dead. The Russians will want me dead. The Americans will want me dead. The atheists will want me dead. Isn't it awful knowing what's going on? Knowing that if you tell everybody, they're going to want you dead. And here I am telling everyone. And I haven't started yet. This is day 2. And at the moment, I'm the only person watching myself talk. Nobody else is on. But they might see later. And then yesterday I went and trimmed this, and now I'm wondering if I shouldn't take it all off, because my face is definitely gone. What I don't want is to have a mouth that's like little Donald Trump's, you know, little round. I don't want to be like that. My name is Donald Trump. I'm a chump. Well, fortunately, my daddy had lots of money. My daddy was nice and rich. My daddy used to take me to the town hall to meet the mayor. I think I was about 9, and Daddy said, I'm going to teach you how to talk to people in authority. When I talk to people in authority, they do what I want, said Daddy. So I went with Daddy Trump, and I'm sitting at the mayor's desk, and Daddy is telling him, I want this, and I want that, and I'm going to give you this, and you're going to give me that. And the mayor was going, oh, Mike, you can't talk to me like this. And Daddy said, do you want to have housing for poor people? Yes, very good. Then you give me a tax break, okay? And I understood about tax breaks, because if you get tax breaks, you make a lot of money, but you're fixing up people up with housing. So that's what I grew up with: how to talk to people in authority. I'm not impressed by them. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm thick, but one thing I do know is how to talk to people in authority. In fact, I found out after a while, around about 24, I think I was, I found out that all these people in authority, they're all actually like me, thick. Once you know that, you can talk to them on your terms, which actually is their terms. And if you happen to find one who's not thick, it's probably a Democrat or a socialist, He's probably one of those people that go into nursing or medicine, or, the people who care. They don't become politicians, do they? If you care, you don't become a politician. You go and do your caring. How can you do caring as a politician? It's not possible. It's not possible, is it? Is that it? How does he do it? It's not possible. 24, when I knew I could talk to absolutely anybody on the earth and I would not be in awe, impressed at all, because as long as I talked to generals, popes, prime ministers, kings and queens, people at the top of the ladder, people at the top of the greasy pole, I can talk to them because I'm like them, because they also have no talent other than just being themselves. And this skill is exported. There are now people who are successful and famous for not being able to do anything. I believe they are famous for being famous. There are various members of the KK clan that I could quote. Are you off?
No, I mean, if I can find some flower or something here near.
To eat something?
No, to go you any plant.
You're going to say, yeah, my plants are dying, and Mark is going to buy some plants. As you can have a look, the one behind me, this one here, there was another one in there, and that has died. And if I can get a portable camera in the next few weeks, I will take you around my flat and show you where I'm living.
You can make a flat tour.
We'll make a flat tour.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me on a personal level anymore. I've decided to be loved by everybody instead, which is probably more suitable for somebody like me.
That's great, Peter.
Is that great?
Yeah.
Mark thinks it's a really good idea that I stay away from women. I think maybe he's a closet gay, Mark.
No,
he's gay. He's definitely.
I have a girlfriend.
He's far too pretty. I have a girlfriend. I don't think she's being satisfied. I don't think she's being satisfied by him. He's too pretty. He's too vain. He's a very good footballer, but Spanish footballers,
it's difficult.
It's difficult, as he keeps pointing out to me.
Yeah. I'm going.
So you're going to go and buy some plants?
Yeah.
All right. So Donald, yeah, the morons. I remember, I'll give you a little anecdote. Sleeping on the Circle Line in Earl's Court in 1961, 62, 63. I went to England in 1960. I was 19. And after 3 years of really washing dishes and sleeping on friends' floors and then working for a bit and then not working for a bit, and I didn't do drugs. I didn't even drink. I was a teetotal. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. Didn't know anything. All I knew was I wasn't going to stay in South Africa with all those racists. Even parents were racists. Can you imagine? All the whites were all racist. Talk about racism, you should have been in South Africa in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s to find out what racism is really like. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. So there I am in Earl's Court, sleeping rough and washing dishes in the Carrillo and the Le Sousol. And my best friend, Bill Childs, one night sleeping on his floor, coming home from the Mirror where he was working as a sub-editor, waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We had decided to talk about my life. And this is about Donald Trump, so just hang in there for a bit. because he's definitely more interesting than I am. And so Bill says, you can't go on like this. You're far too intelligent. Just because you're not any good as an artist, which is what you want to be, is no excuse for you not finding a solution. I said, well, I can't paint, I can't write, I can't sing, I can't play a musical instrument, I can't sculpt. And I don't know anything about, I mean, I want to be an artist, but I'm not an artist. What do I do? So Bill said to me, why don't you go make lots of money? I said, no, that's the one thing I'm avoiding doing. I'm not going to make money. I'm not going to end up like a businessman who wears a suit and a tie and become an arsehole, okay? It's not going to happen. He says, no, you don't understand, Peter. What you need to do is go and make lots of money. We'll call it fuck you money, so that you're no longer poor. And then when you have enough fuck you money, you'll have opportunities that you don't have now. You might become an impresario and put on wonderful musicals or plays in the West End. Or you might open up a charity and give money to people who need it or help them in some way. And I went, Bill, oh, I do love you, Bill. In fact, I do love Bill, and I don't even know where he is now. He went off to Australia. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's still there. If one day by accident he sees this, thank you, Bill. You changed my life that night in, what was the name of the road? Off Redcliffe Gardens. Not Cathcart. Shit. He had a flat on the top floor, 1-bedroom flat. So I said, so what? I've got to go and make lots of money so that I can then put it to good use. He said, exactly. So far, you've just been thinking of money as a self-indulgent thing, and you didn't want to be self-indulgent. And you want to do something valuable with your life, like being an artist. Well, you can do something valuable with the money that you go and earn. I said, yeah, but if I'm going to have to make enough money, I'm going to be like them, and I'm going to be corrupted. And he said, but you have me as a friend. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool socialist. I'll be watching you. As soon as I see you becoming like them, I will tap you on the shoulder and say, hello. I think that's why he went to Australia, so he could say hello. So I said, so I'll have you in my corner. He said, you will. Well, 11 o'clock that morning, I opened up the Evening Standard to see if there was a job that I could do, which would be the job that would get me to become a millionaire at the age of 30. I gave myself 6.5 years. 30 is a nice number. I'm going to have enough fuck you money, which probably meant I had to be a millionaire. So I opened up the Evening Standard, and there's this job for an interviewer in an accommodation agency called Centrecom in Jermyn Street, above the best cheese shop in London called Paxton's, I think. So I go upstairs, and there's a guy sitting at the front desk. His name is Carl Henty Dodd. Later on, he became Simon D, famous for being a presenter on television. But Simon wasn't famous then. He was sitting behind a desk, ushering the public to other desks where they could be looking for flats to rent, unfurnished flats. So I was sent upstairs to the next floor where the lady who owned the whole place was sitting, and she wanted to know, and there's a whole bunch of guys there, not just me, all for the job. And she said, well, why do you want this job? I said, well, I've got 7 years to become a millionaire, and you don't pay wages, you only pay commission, so I'm going to have to be very good. So I will be your best interviewer, and then I will be rich by the time I'm 30. And she looked at me and she said, when can you start? I said, now. She said, okay, that desk over there. So I went on the desk, and then she got them to bring me a list of all the flats they had to rent. And then I would wait until somebody came in looking for a flat, and I would come up with the flat. Within 2 weeks, I was the best interviewer in the place. There were 12 of them. 6 weeks later, I opened up my own accommodation agency in Earl's Court called Peter Staples Limited. I think it was 234 Old Brompton Road, if I remember correctly, on the corner of Old Brompton Road and Earl's Court Road. It was an office which I shared with two guys who had a little property company. So I had a desk in their office, but I had it in the window, and I had my name on the window. And now I had to get flats to rent. So I invented this thing called a premium bond, where I went to the housekeepers in Earl's Court who were renting the bedsits that there was in it. You had this big house with 20 odd rooms in it, and the housekeeper in the basement, and she would be responsible for finding tenants for the rooms when people left. Because in those days, Earl's Court was pretty much bedsit land. No flats, no houses, no £5-10 million houses like now. They were bedsits, £2.50 more or less for a single room, and a double room between £5 and £7 a week rent. But then people were earning only £10 a week in those days. Anyway, after 3 years, I wasn't making any money. And this is the point about the Donald Trump. After 3 years, I wasn't making any money. And I was working, and I had 2 people and me in the office, plus another person. That's 4 of us. And there was no profit. So I went back to Bill, and I said, Bill, we have a problem. He said, what's the problem? I said, well, our plan, I've only got 4 years left. And I haven't even made a penny yet. He says, well, what's going on? So we talked, and we talked, and we talked, and we had the same kind of focused chat that we'd had 3 years earlier. And eventually Bill worked it out. He was so cool. He said, you're honest. I said, yep. And he said, you don't cheat anybody. Nope. And you pay your staff well. Yep. And you're efficient and you're competent. Yep. And you have no problem with the landlords and the tenants. Nope. So he cross-questioned me like this. And then when he'd finished, he said, okay, I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer it. And then I'm going to work out what to do with you. I said, okay, well, what's the question? He said, I'm going to say something and you will fill in the missing word at the end. I said, okay. He said, right, here we go. There are those who are rich and there are those who are poor. And I belong to those who are, I had to fill in the missing word. And I said, poor. Because I was. And I always have been. And my family, I grew up on a farm barefoot for the first 5 years. He said, well, that's your problem. Now I want you to have a mantra. Every day when you get out of bed, you will say to yourself, there are those who are rich, there are those who are poor, and I belong to those who are rich. And I said, what is the point of that? He said, you're going to find out what it's like to be a rich person. In other words, with lots of money. So every day I did. To cut a long story short, without sacrificing any of my principles, morals, values, I retired at 31, a millionaire. Because I was the best at renting flats, because I started doing more than renting flats. I started designing flats. I started advising for nothing very often. So I made lots of money and retired because I managed to get my head into the space of belonging to those who are rich. It was a bit of an act, of course, because I still feel poor, even today. But for the purposes of making money, I did. And when I had enough fuck you money, which turned out to be, in the end, 11 apartments, a big detached house in Barnes, and a couple of restaurants, and my estate agency, which I sold to a friend of mine for quite a modest sum, as I didn't need it and he did. Yeah, I had my money. And then, of course, what happened next was another story, which you'll find out on another occasion, because lots of bad things happened after that, and some good things. But the point is, I managed to talk to people who were rich and be on their level. So never, ever again, after that experience, would I be in awe of meeting the Queen or Boris Johnson. Can you imagine? And I was so looking forward to that fucking Tony Blair walking into my restaurant in London, because I would have frog marched the prick out and thrown him into the street, because I'm not in awe of the Prime Minister. Okay, he's just another arsehole going to war, him and his cowboy friend George W. Can you imagine? This shit that we have in the Middle East is still down to him. Why? Because they never got rid of Saddam after the Kuwaiti War. So they were cowboys. Tony Blair became a cowboy. He should have fucking stayed in Texas and got himself a ranch. You can just see him and his wife living happily ever after in Texas. So here I would have thrown out. The point is that if you're not in awe of people, from popes to presidents to whoever, I tell you who I am in awe of. The people I'm in awe of are the people with exquisite talent. Talents that, of course, the collective gave them. That's another day. Who is the collective? What is the collective? Well, Pavarotti got his talent from us. Mandela got his talent from us. All the great people and all the great artists, they get their talents from us. And I love that. What I don't love are the people who have no fucking talent, who have learned the trick of how to not be in awe of other people and to pretend as if he is on their level. So you end up with a hierarchy of thick people who don't know anything, but they all know how to talk to each other. And they meet all over the place, and they all wear suits and ties, all of them, every single one. Unless you were Mao Zedong. So the really talented people do their talent, and the ones who don't have talent, they become leaders. They become the priests, and they become the politicians. And there is somebody else on, and I don't know who it is. And whoever you are, I've come to the end of my daily stint. I'm terribly sorry it ran so late. I'm getting better at it. And I think I'm going to have to get a few people to interact with, because I'm not sure how I'm coming across at all. So, nighty-night. Who says nighty-night? Oh my goodness. Nighty-night is the presenter and journalist that was on the night of Trump's deselection. Don't get me started on Trump. We'll start doing that tomorrow. So far, he's a beached whale, and he's a girl in a pram throwing out the toys, having a tantrum. And there's a third image which I've forgotten, which hopefully by tomorrow I will remember. So I'm going to say goodnight, whoever you are. But it was lovely talking to myself and to you. And tomorrow, 6 o'clock on this channel, I shall be here. Bye-bye. Be good. Say hello to Russell Brand. I'm doing this so that one day I can talk to Russell Brand. He's so